Okay, so for some context, there is a Minecraft server called Skyblock Kingdoms, and the members of the server basically make videos about it. Pretty standard with, like, most SMPs out there. Recently, one of the events, you could say, on Skyblock Kingdoms was a court case, which is interesting. I mean, I'm not necessarily a fan of legal shows, but I do know some things about the law and how courts work, which is why this episode was horrendously difficult to watch because of all of the inaccuracies. I said on Avid's server, Avid is one of the creators on Skyblock Kingdoms, that I should just make a video going over all the inaccuracies, and he said that that would be interesting, so that's what I'm doing. So for the purposes of this, I'm just looking at Avid's POV, because I'm too lazy to go through everyone's POV. I feel like it's just going to be the same for all of them, so that's the what I'm doing.
I recently got my judge certification last night on even youcanbeajudge.com, so I apologize if this is a little scuffed. I would ask.
Okay, so first of all, immediately. First of all, first like 5 seconds of the court scene, we already have a little bit of an issue. Youcanbeajudge.com is not a legitimate, I guess, resource to get judge certificate. I'm just saying here that this so-called judge is not certified to be practicing law in any capacity if he got his certification from some sketchy website. There are multiple reasons why this entire thing should just be a mistrial, and this is one of them. The fact that the judge is not actually a judge.
I would ask that everyone put their weapons in the deposit box. We don't want to have any mishaps or anything in this court.
Okay, like, I know that this is Minecraft, and so in Minecraft you have, like, a sword, a pickaxe, an axe, things like that. I feel like even then it's common sense that you should not bring a weapon with you into the courtroom. I mean, I gotta respect the fact that, you know, at least the judge is, so-called judges, confiscating weapons. However, a problem that you will see later on is that, he did not do a very good job at that.
All right, so we're going to start with some opening statements. We will start with the Jungle Kingdom.
You got this, Vintage.
If you would like to come to the stand.
Thank you.
Okay, so before we move forward, I'm just gonna say, Vintage Applesauce's opening statement is fine, but that does not save other people from misbehaving during the opening statement that we're about to see.
Your Honor, today we are here because Birch Please has just been very something when it comes to just their efforts onto Skyblock Kingdoms in this server.
Okay, so first of all, you cannot object to an opening statement. This is a frequent issue. The only time for objections is during cross-examination. You cannot object to an opening statement. I don't know what this guy's thinking. Now, second of all, this isn't necessarily like an inaccuracy of the court system, this is more so just like a misplay, actually one of a couple misplays that Vintage makes. You can't just say, the opposition has been something, and expect that to be convincing in any way. I'm just saying, like, that's not an inaccuracy, it's just silly.
Yeah, this judge has no idea what he's doing.
At least he's self-aware.
Because Birch Please has been dealing with just an influx of business malpractice, inhumane treatment to their clientele, and, of course, fraud for their unlawful gain of money on this server.
Objection.
Again, you cannot object to an opening statement, but I just like to point out here, first of all, no one's allowed to speak except for Vintage here. That's important to realize. Second of all, she is making claims right now, right? That they have committed malpractice, that they have committed fraud, that they have done criminal activities. Which is why I'm going to assume that this is a criminal trial, I guess. It's very unclear whether this is like a criminal trial or a civil trial, because no criminal punishment is actually given at the end of the day, so it's not a criminal trial, but it is. But look, it's stupid. What I'm trying to get at here is that Vintage is making these claims, and now the rest of what she is supposed to be doing in this trial is to prove those claims, and if I were to assume that this is a criminal trial, then the standard for evidence is beyond a reasonable doubt. If there is like any amount of doubt, then a guilty verdict cannot be given because it is a criminal trial, I assume.
As it can see from an evidence that I am going to submit, which is Appendix B, and we will get more into later.
Oh, man.
I rest my
That evidence should have been submitted to the court, like, months, years in advance. Just saying, that's how courts work.
I don't know
It's
how
okay.
they found that.
Go
I
first.
hid it in a very secret spot where they couldn't.
Whoops.
It's a said milkman is claiming here that he is literally admitting to attempting to hide evidence from the courts, which is highly illegal, and he is admitting it's illegal. Well, it's not admitting it's illegal, he's admitting that he did it, but we know it's illegal. I mean, at least I do. These people are clueless. So, really, he should just be held in contempt of court on the spot right here, because he has just admitted to attempting to hide evidence from the courts that should have been with the courts months before the actual trial date. So, yeah, he is guilty. I don't know what to say. He literally just admitted to that.
People needed to try my bananas. And I was kind of half paying attention to the trial anyways.
I call.
I don't understand his strategy. He thinks that he will do better in the trial if he gives people he's giving bananas to the peanut gallery, not even the jury, but even if he were... I don't know. I don't know what his strategy is like.
Birch, please, to the stand for their opening statements.
Of course, of course. Thank you, Your Honor. Lady and gentlemen of the jury, today's trial is nothing short of a farce.
I honestly feel like I could just skip through all of Sad Milkman's opening statement because it is entirely argumentative. Now, for a closing statement, you can say whatever you want. For an opening statement, you cannot just say whatever you want. An opening statement is to lay out what the trial is going to be about, what the jury is going to hear, things like that. It is no place for arguments. And Sad Milkman's entire opening statement is purely argumentative, which means it should just be thrown out. I mean, there's no, like, stenographer in the court here, so absolutely none of this is on the record. Well, I guess it is on the record in the sense that they're actually, like, recording it, but what I'm trying to get at is that this should be stricken from the record. It shouldn't be in the video, technically, because it's argumentative. It should just be cut. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it out. I'm cutting it out.
And that's that this server, as of current, has no foundational laws.
This actually is something I'm going to include, because it's important. If Sad Milkman is correct here that Skyblock Kingdom says no functional laws, and that means that everything that they're doing right here is completely useless. But it still is completely useless even if there were functional laws, because this is a mistrial like 10 times over. So, you know what, I'm just gonna not think about it.
Let me go quickly grab the evidence.
He's
That's
not
not
allowed
a
to
crime.
leave.
He's just leaving the courtroom to go get evidence, when said evidence should have been submitted to the court like months to years before the trial date. You're not allowed to do that. Do I need to explain why you're not allowed to do that? I feel like it's pretty obvious why you're not allowed to do that. This is, again, this is another point where this is grounds for a mistrial, because barely any evidence has actually been submitted to the court. Like, you can't have a trial, bruh. Like, what is going on here?
If you look at the evidence,
Pretty sure that the judge just didn't read the terms and conditions, even though that's, I guess, like a vital part of this court case. So yes, that is also grounds for mistrial, I suppose.
of Appendix B, you will see that Appendix B says, and I quote, "The rules are all meaningless. Chaos shall reign supreme. Lol."
This is a very interesting point. Really, all you need to do at this point, summon said Milkman to the stand, put him under oath, and ask him, hey, Appendix B, that's part of the terms and conditions, correct? And if he says yes, you got him, because Appendix B literally nullifies the rest of the terms and conditions. It just says everything before this is null and void. So there's no contract here. Appendix B is part of the contract, because Appendix B voids the contract. It's complete contradiction within the contract itself, which is ridiculous. Like, why would you even make that a thing? Why would said Milkman even make Appendix B a thing and then put that in? Why would he even do that? It's not that deep. It's actually not that deep. But I just want to feel like it is more deep than what it actually is, which is why I'm making this stupid video in the first place. So let me have my moment.
Viking Pilot, may I call you to the stand, please?
I changed my...
Here's another misplay by Vintage. I don't understand. Her first witness is Viking, not Avid, not Sad Milkman, Viking. Why? Literally why? Like, there is hardly any benefit to your first witness not being the defendant or the prosecutor's witness, the client, basically, right? That makes sense. In fact, I don't even know if Sad Milkman has a lawyer. I feel like he's representing himself, so he's both the... I don't know, bro. It's stupid. But, like, what I'm trying to get at here is that Vintage's first witness should have been Avid. Absolutely should have been Avid. 100%. Like, just let Avid explain the story. That's what you need right now. Why are you calling up Viking? For what reason? Like, there's no tactical advantage to that. It's not like an inaccuracy, it's just a misplay.
Now, I would like to ask Viking, if you may, can you tell me about Avid's character?
Avid is just the sweetest little guy.
Yeah.
Objection. False evidence.
That's not even.
Okay, first of all, you can't object to the answer. Like, you can't. You need to object to the question. You need to object before Viking speaks. Okay, you can't object after he finished answering the question. And second of all, false evidence, it's not a proper objection. Viking even says here that's not even evidence. Like, it's not evidence, it's a testimony. Duh. But yeah, no one here knows how objections work whatsoever.
Is also just sometimes a little not good at paying attention to his surroundings.
He's the dumbest guy alive.
Not necessarily the defense I was hoping for.
See,
Yeah, Avid, I agree with you. That's not the defense you're looking for, because that's not a defense. That is the dumbest question possible to ask. Like, hey, do you think my client is stupid? Yes. Why would you ask that? You're just making your own client look bad for no tangible benefits, because guess what? Guess what? Avid's incompetency doesn't matter at all. Did he sign the contract? Yes, then he signed the contract. Doesn't matter if he didn't understand the contract, he signed it. But also, the contract is void anyways because of Appendix B, so it's like, there's like multiple layers to this question not mattering in any shape or form.
Do you have any witnesses you would like to call?
I find it funny how Birch Please, I guess that's what they're called, doesn't question Viking. So I guess it isn't cross-examination, it's direct examination, which doesn't make much sense, I guess. Like, I don't actually know about that one. I'm going to have to assume that they just decided not to question Viking when they probably totally could have. Did they have any questions for Viking? Probably not. I mean, they are incompetent after all. Everyone here is incompetent, including the judge.
Oh yeah. Mig, we call
green
Mig.
one.
Me?
Mig, come on
Get
up.
him up there. Get him up there.
Again, why are you calling Mig up to the stand as your first witness instead of people who are actually involved? Like, you realize that you can summon Avid to the stand right here. Like, he can do that. Absolutely he can do that. He just chooses not to. I don't know why. And also, from the sounds of it, it looks like Mig didn't even know that they were going to be summoned to the stand, which is, like, weird.
Mig, what do you have to say about our service?
Okay, just give me 1 second.
Wait, he said he
Birch Please is a very good service with no flaws whatsoever. They have never wronged me or scammed me.
It says innocent. Do you see at the bottom where
They are very, very...
To be fair, like, you can tell your witness how to answer a question prior to the court, I guess. You can't tell them what the answer should be mid-court. Like, what is going on here?
Your Honor, this is clearly business malpractice at its finest.
On what grounds, actually? That's not malpractice in any shape or form. It's not even business.
As you can clearly see, very satisfied customer, Avid here, who has been deemed
Hey, buddy.
dumb as a bag of bricks
Okay.
by his own lawyer.
No, I didn't say that. Your
That
Honor,
was my...
You can't just say this. You can't just say this. Like, right, well, you can, but not now. You can say this at the end in your, closing statement. Yes, you can say this. But not right now. You can't say this now.
misleading and hearsay.
Yeah,
I didn't say that
was
either.
by
I didn't
him.
say.
It's not hearsay. There's no question. Like, it's not here. Like, again, no one knows how to object. No one knows how to object, bro. Everyone's incompetent as all hell.
He is dumb
Watch
as a
yourself.
singular brick.
One brick. Okay. You know, this is all for the record.
It's not for the record because you're not at the stand.
Question: have we taken an oath of truth?
I mean, you're in the courthouse. You're under oath.
Oh,
Here's an important part, because that's not how this works. This is a very, very good question from Sad Milkman here. He says, has anyone been actually, like, put under oath? The answer is a resounding no. No one has been put under oath at all. No one has put a singular finger on a singular Bible so far, okay? Which means that everything that could have been said so far could just be a lie, and you could get away with it. It's not perjury if you're not under oath. In fact, I'm pretty sure there was a comment on this video that said something to the effect of, like, oh, there's so much blatant perjury. I disagree. There wasn't any blatant perjury. In fact, there was no perjury whatsoever because no one was put under oath. You cannot commit perjury if you're not under oath. But yes, to answer the question, yes, that is grounds for a mistrial. That's like, what, like the third or fourth thing so far that is grounds for a mistrial. I'm having a brain aneurysm.
Present anything else to the court.
I would like to present my client Avid to the
Yeah.
stand, if we could.
Yep.
I would like to present my client Avid to the stand. That's not the correct word to use. Also, good idea. Yeah, someone after the stand. Maybe you should have done that 2 witnesses ago.
By those two over there. You know.
I'm gonna skip all this because, dude, who cares? No one asked you a question. What are you saying? You shut up. Like, if you want to convey this information to the jury, your lawyer should ask you questions and you should answer them to convey this information. You can't just state this out loud! I don't think they know what cross-examination is. In fact, I don't think they know what I don't think they know what the law is.
I delivered to you the most beautiful sonnet that the ears had ever heard. It was a country. I built a house of birch wood. Right.
That song was cringe and you know it, Avid.
It seemed like we had the trial in the bag, but no one could have guessed for what was about to happen.
I disagree. You don't have the trial in the bag. This trial sucks. Anyways, we're about to see what happens. It's ridiculous.
Things go south.
Back up.
Hey.
Okay, yeah, so basically they just put a bomb in the courtroom. Remember earlier when they, like, frisked for, well, not even frisked for weapons. They kindly asked people to please put your weapons away, pretty please with the cherry on top. They didn't do a good job at ensuring there were no weapons in this court because, well, yeah, that's a bomb!
You're gonna have to forgive me for this.
handle it.
Oh my God!
Okay, so anyways, Avid commits murder. Wrap it up, boys.
Very good
have
ventilation.
no choice but to find Birch, please, guilty of all charges.
Objection.
Like, again, they don't know how objections work. Like, you can't object to the verdict!